So if you are charging by the hour for AI automations you build for your clients, then you are probably getting punished for being so good at it. Now let me explain. I built a workflow last month. It took me about 5 hours, but then it saves the client about 20 hours every single month, right? And every month ongoing. At an hourly rate, that build was probably worth, let's say, $1,000, right? But to the client, that build is worth tens of thousands of dollars every single year. So now let's talk about what you should actually charge, because I got this wrong for a really long time. And this is for you build something in Make or even Claude, and now someone has asked you what you charge, and then you immediately panicked and said a number you probably made up on the spot. Now here's the awkward part about this space right now. There's no standard rates, okay? Nothing like that. And that cuts both ways. So you should know that nobody can actually tell you you're too expensive, but nobody can actually also tell you that you're too cheap either. So most people just guess, and most people often guess very low. Now, 3 things I see people get wrong when it comes to pricing their automations for clients. The first is they charge hourly, okay? Now, the better you get at this, the faster you build. And that means that you start earning less because you're just charging by the number of hours you took to build. And that's backwards, right? You are penalizing yourself for your own competence. Now, the second thing about the pricing is that if you are pricing the build instead of the problem, your client doesn't necessarily care that it took 6 nodes and a webhook. They genuinely do not care about that because they're probably not even technical. They care that something stops costing them money. They care that you are solving their problem. So focus on the problem you are trying to solve. Now, the third one is the one that actually hurts a lot, right? That you forget maintenance, right? You forget that you hand it over and then you're on the hook forever. Every tweak, every single broken API, every quick question at 9 a.m. in the morning or at 9 p.m. at night. Like, I've done this, and that is how a $2,000 project quietly turns into a part-time job for you that you are not being paid forever because you have not priced maintenance in. If you are not subscribed to my channel, that's one of the best ways you can actually support my channel and help me grow. So hit the subscribe button, share this video, all the good stuff. So here's a question. How do you set your price? One question you should always ask: what is the problem costing them right now? Every single month, okay? Everything comes from that number. You are not pricing them for your time. You are pricing them against the cost of the problem and the cost of the alternative. So keep that in mind. Now, let me show you how this works in practice. So, for instance, you start with step 1, okay? Find the cost of the problem. So you can ask this on your discovery calls. Like, how often does this happen? How long does it take? Who does it? What do you pay them? And then do the math out loud with them in the room, because that part really matters, right? They need to watch the number appear. So let's say you're working with a salon client. So let's say the salon is missing calls. Maybe they have 20 missed calls a month. Maybe 6 of those would have been booked. Average ticket is, let's say, $80, and that's around $480. So call it $5,800 a year, walking straight out of the door for the salon owner. Now, step 2, find the cost of the alternative, okay? So what would they do otherwise about this? Maybe to stop them from missing calls, you're going to hire a part-time receptionist, or they're going to hire a virtual assistant or an answering service. A person is $2,000 to $3,000 a month, especially in this part of the world, and every month forever. So that's your anchor now. And next to it, you look cheap because you're just charging like $400 or something like that. Now, step 3, price somewhere between 10 and 25% of the first year value. So on a $5,800 per month problem, $1,500 is not a hard conversation. In fact, it's barely a conversation at all, okay? Now, step 4, the one that changes your business. Split it, right? Setup fee plus monthly. The setup fee covers the build, and then the monthly covers monitoring, small changes, and the fact that things are likely gonna break, okay? So $150 to $300 a month is also an easy conversation to have. So that retainer is the actual business, okay? The setup fee is just how it starts, but that's how you keep getting recurring income coming through for you every single month. Now, step 5, pass the infrastructure through, okay? Their accounts, API keys, their credit card. Don't absorb those costs, and don't quietly mark them up either. It gets awkward later and it's not even worth it, trust me. Some rough starting ranges for you, okay? So adjust these for your market. So like, let's say a single workflow, one trigger, no real integration, you're thinking $500 to $1,500 a month. Or if you have like a multi-step system, meaning you're connecting 2 or 3 tools, $2,000 to $5,000 to set it up. A voice agent for an AI receptionist, you're looking at $1,500 to $3,500 plus, let's say $150 to $300 every single month in maintenance fees. Here's what changes when you actually price this way. So you get paid for your outcome instead of the hours you're spending. So working fast now becomes profitable to you instead of it costing you more money. Now, the retainer makes your income predictable, which almost nobody building this stuff actually has. And you stop resenting the client who messages you on Sunday evening, because now that is covered. They're paying for it. So now they can message you and it's not free. Realize that like work now becomes more interesting to you. Now, 2 honest limits before you go. Don't promise revenue to your clients, okay? You can control the time saved and the cost avoided, but you do not control whether their leads will convert or whether their business is any good. Price on a thing that you can actually verify, end up defending a number that was never yours to promise, because you are not managing the lead flow. You only build a system and everything else is on the client. And then put your scope in writing, like how many revisions are included, what counts as a new project, and if the automation needs a human to check its work, say that upfront and build it into the price, okay? Say it before you're actually paid, not after something actually goes wrong. People also forget to do this. People forget to include things like training, okay? Because that's something that you can actually also charge for. Like after you've built the setup and everything, you can offer them training as well, and that could be also baked into the price, and that can also become like a revenue stream. So let me know in the comment section below if you've been selling automations to customers. What are some of the main challenges you found, especially when it comes to pricing them? Do you think you've been pricing low? What other things are you considering when you actually price automations for customers? Let me know in the comment section below. I actually do have a 2-hour course, how to build AI automation specifically with N8N from scratch. It's very beginner friendly. So if you're interested in this space and you want to start building, I'm going to recommend that course for you. I'm going to leave that on the screen here so that you can check it out. But as usual, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.